Welcome to my self-love vlog. I'm at the Free Library of Philadelphia about to meet the lovely Miss Angelita Byrd, the author of With Love, I Let Go, A Journey Back to Self. You are not going to want to miss this chat. Come on, let's go in.
I went to Philly, yeah.
Not only is she beautiful, but she's smart. She's an authorist. So we are at the Philadelphia Free Library, and I'm with gorgeous Angelita Byrd, the author of With Love, I Let Go. So here's the book. Angelita, what motivated you to write this book?
That's a really good question. First and foremost, just thank you for having me and being here with you in your light, in your beauty. I really, truly appreciate you. And to answer your question, what motivated me to write With Love, I Let Go, A Journey Back to Self? Honestly, it just started off as a journal for me as I was going through this journey of heartbreak, as I was writing out my feelings, my thoughts, what I wanted next for myself. I realized that I couldn't be the only one that was actually going through this. So instead of it just being my own personal journey, I wanted to be able to share that with other people as well, knowing that my story is their story, and that hopefully in return, when they read my story, that they can put themselves in there so they can be seen and heard as well too, and now also to be able to start their own healing journey.
I love that, and it's exactly what I felt like from page one. It felt like I was like reading your journal, like, am I supposed to be, in here like this? Like, I felt like I was with you, but then I could also see myself as you and, in your shoes. And I want to just start with how you started with this book. I read a lot. And this is the first book that I've ever read that started with an acknowledgement to your exes.
Yes.
I was blown away. And I think that's what really was like, okay, I need to read this cover. I need to read this cover to cover. I actually want to just read it really quickly. So it says, to all of my exes, thank you for the love you gave me for as long or as little as it lasted, for the joy and the pain, for the lessons that broke me and the growth that built me. You are a chapter in my story, not the ending. And though some of those pages still sting, they shaped a woman who now loves herself more deeply than she ever thought possible. Your absence became the space where I found my strength. Your silence, the soundtrack to my healing. And your betrayal, the spark that ignited my self-worth. I don't carry bitterness. I carry wisdom. I don't wish you harm. I wish myself peace. Because of you, I learned how to return home to me. With love, I let go. Angelita. Oh my.
Wow. It just made me feel a little emotional listening to it. Yeah.
This is so, it's so powerful because a lot of times when we think about letting go, we think about losing. But what I've noticed in reading this book is that you're actually gifting yourself, back to yourself.
Yeah.
And it's an incredible, incredible journey. Can you talk to us about some of the silence and the solitude that comes after letting go?
Well, first I want to acknowledge what you just read, because this is not about one ex. As you notice, it says to my exes,
Plural.
Plural. And the reason being is because every relationship is here to teach you something. And a lot of times what happens is with women, we have a relationship, and sometimes we don't stop to really think about the roles that we also to play in that relationship. So it's not just one particular person that actually causes you to stop and reflect and think about what do you want for yourself. It's every single being that comes into your life that will have some type of an effect on your life. And that is by God's design, I believe, because when you enter into a relationship, first and foremost, we always enter into a relationship. Of course, we want it to last, we want it to work, and we're all in, right?
Right.
And then things happen. And in the course of those things happening, you don't just learn the other person, you learn yourself and what you want, what you desire, what you need. And hopefully, in that process of that relationship, what you learn is either it's for you or it's not.
Right.
And for me, thankfully, I have enough discernment to know what is for me and what is not. And every relationship that I've had throughout my life, I have gained some things, of course. And then I have lost some things. And the most important thing that I've lost in a relationship was myself. And with this book, when you talk about the question of talk about what is it that you lost, the most important thing you can lose is yourself, because you are the common denominator in your relationships. And with that, you have to realize that just because you are in a relationship, that does not mean that now you, meaning yourself, is no longer a part of the relationship, meaning the person you have to also love, the person you also have to give to. Because when you give yourself away, and you're no longer giving back to you, the person who you were before the relationship, you find yourself now starting to deplete and losing your own value because you've given the relationship so much value.
Settling, yeah.
Right. And so in that journey back to self, it's very raw and messy, because now you're scrambling to trying to figure out, well, who was I before this relationship? And more importantly, who is it that I want to be and continue to be when I enter into a new relationship,
Right.
after I go through this journey back
Right.
to self?
That, listen, and that is, it's everything. And you're speaking a lot about accountability,
Yes.
and self reflection, which can be very hard when you do start your journey as far as like letting go. You do kind of have to revisit the past a little bit. And I love how you mentioned that you handle the past with this gentleness, because a lot of times when we start to acknowledge our part in, whatever types of maybe abuse that we allowed or maltreatment that we allowed, it causes like guilt or regret, towards us. But I love how you encourage us to kind of handle that with this gentleness and this care. Do you have some tips for us, or maybe how we can do that for those of us who have yet to decide to let go, or we're just starting to let go?
Well, you have to figure out, what do I want out of this, right?
The healing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even while you're in it, what do I want for myself? What do I need in this? It's so important because, one, knowing what you want is half the battle.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And until you know that, really, you're just going to be going through kind of really this free flow that turns into a free fall.
Okay, talk
All
about it.
right. So letting go is not because you dislike someone or you have ill will towards someone. It's because you love them
Mm-hmm.
enough to say, I have to let this go because I'm not for you and you're not for me.
Right.
Because if I were for you, I wouldn't be feeling the pain that I'm feeling.
Right.
And you
Right.
would not be treating me this way. You would be paying more attention to what it is that I'm asking of you.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly, it wouldn't be a struggle. So letting go is an act of love for yourself. And that's something that, again, when you love someone so much and you start loving them more than you love yourself, the letting go is very hard to do because you have all these feelings inside of you that's telling you you can't let go because you love them. But the best thing you can do for someone you love is let them go because, again, it's not working. And you know when it's not working because love is not what hurts.
Right.
It's the person who's not loving themselves or you loving yourself is what hurts.
Or you not even knowing what love truly is.
Yeah.
Being confused about what that is or what it looks like or how it's, how it's supposed to feel, because some of us, that's all we know, is calling love pain. There's so many love stories about it being painful and
Right.
it's like we kind of dwell in that, and sometimes although we don't necessarily prefer it, we find comfort in it because that's all that's all we know. And the unknown, that self-love, that great love, it's scary because we don't know that, because if we did, we might not be in that relationship or that situation that that we've kind of like found ourselves in. And I do want to talk more about just the after, the letting go. It's like that space of silence and solitude, because a lot of times when you're done, it's like, yeah girl, you did
About to be living my best life.
Yes. And there's this big applause, and then afterwards it's like, crap, did I do the right thing? Like, why do I feel like this if I did the right thing? Like, I chose me, and why do I feel so awful? Why do I feel so lonely? Why do I feel like something is missing? But I remember reading that you said that this is not, I'm going to quote you exactly, said this is not punishment, it's purification.
Right.
And that just hit home.
Yeah. It's a cleansing.
Yeah.
It is. A lot of people confuse solitude with loneliness. It feels lonely at times, but really what it's doing is, again, it's allowing you to have that time with yourself, that time that you needed with yourself. Because when you're in a relationship, a lot of times, again, being so focused on the relationship that you don't take enough time with yourself in those moments of solitude to know, again, what's working and what's not working, right? So when you do finally do break free and you let go, and now you're in this moment with yourself, and now you have time to reflect, you have time to think, you have time to realize what it is that I want for me once again. And also too, in that moment, yes, people are comfortable with things they're familiar with.
Talk about it.
because the unknown is a scary place to go, right? However, the unknown is where the beauty lies. The unknown is where now you discover all these things you didn't know that you did enjoy, or all the things that you needed to be able to do for yourself. Again, for me, in that space of solitude, in that space of letting go, like just before writing this book, I booked a one-way ticket to Africa.
Where did you go?
I went to South Africa. I went to Cape Town.
Wow.
And that was something that I knew that I always wanted to do, but I did not do it because I was so caught up in my relationship of wanting to do everything in that relationship together, not knowing that this was something I was supposed to do alone. And so when I did, and I went to South Africa and I met some of the most beautiful, amazing people while I was there. It was such an incredible experience. It was an experience of a lifetime. Now, I've done that before. I've traveled the world over solo. However, going through this healing journey and now going back to self, being with myself after traveling with someone, it's like, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right. I'm now alone again. But am I really alone? And realized I wasn't, because again, it was so many people out on the other side of the world waiting to meet me,
to receive you.
Yeah, and get to know me, and me to get to know me in the process of rediscovery.
Isn't that crazy? Like when you take a trip by yourself, when you travel yourself, I notice I'll meet a whole different version of myself that I had never met before.
Yeah.
It's incredible when you go out, you venture out and you're around a bunch of strangers. It's beautiful to see yourself and how you interact in places that you'll go and things that you'll try or eat or entertain. I think everyone should embark on some kind of
absolutely
self-love trip or
absolutely
journey. That's
absolutely
amazing. And it doesn't have to be South Africa. It could be Starbucks.
Yeah.
It could be the library. It could be, maybe just some quiet time with yourself. And I think that's like one of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself, is the opportunity to meet you over and over and over again.
Because we're always meeting ourselves. And we're always getting to learn something new about ourselves,
right?
Especially when we are by ourselves,
right?
Because there's no distractions. The only distraction you have is your mind, right? So, and that's something that you're working on too, because, like they say, an idle mind is the devil's playground. So when you're by yourself,
a word.
Yes. Yes. So when you're by yourself, you have all these thoughts, whether they are negative or positive, but mostly negative, because most people don't realize that every single day we have 86,000 thoughts, negative thoughts, that runs through our mind.
Wait, I need you to say that one.
And that's a fact.
One more time.
86,000 negative thoughts run through your mind on a daily basis. All right, look that up. And that is something that we have to learn, that now in those moments of having those negative thoughts, that we have to also to find ways to replace them in something positive, because we are our worst critics, right?
Yes, we are.
So when we go through a breakup, a divorce, a situation, because letting go is not just about relationships, it's also too about relationships with friendships,
and
girlfriends,
family members.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's a lot of things that we have to let go of in order to get back to ourselves. And I had to do that. I had to let go of friendships, long-term friendships, in this process.
So hard.
Because in the midst of going through this healing journey, I started discovering that not only was he not good for me, but neither are you. because you start realizing who your friends are and who your friends are not.
Talk about it.
You know, who you can have that conversation with and who you can trust with your heart. All right. Because some people out there, they actually find joy in your pain.
Ugh.
Okay.
You're like a mirror.
All right.
And that's something we don't want to hear, but that's a hard truth.
To me, that was harder than the breakup itself, was seeing people finding joy in my pain.
And it almost becomes addictive too. You know, you become addicted to those negative feelings. And like you said, it's about the removal, you know, making space. Because a lot of times, especially us as women, it's like, what can we add? More lipstick, more hair, you know, more love from an outside source.
Right.
But you have to sometimes remove, you know, some things and make space for things in order for, you know, the greater blessing to be able to fit into your life. Like right now, there's no room, you know, and that can be hard because you don't really have an idea of what you're making room for. You're just kind of like purging and cleaning up shop, and that's, you know, scary. It's kind of like, okay, I have this empty space now. What's gonna fit here? What's gonna go there?
Right.
A couch used to be there, and a bed used to be, you know, there, and you're like, okay, now, you know, now what? Now what do I do?
That's how hoarders become hoarders, because they're trying to fill up that empty space inside. So next thing you know, they fill it up so much that they have no room anywhere to be able to breathe hardly.
I love that analogy, like an emotional hoarder.
Yeah.
You know, just adding more toxic relationships. Because a lot of times we do think it's all about, you know, our significant other.
Right.
And I've realized that as well. You know, you get rid of maybe one relationship and then you start to realize, like, you are this person, but, you know, I'm getting the same vibe as when I was with so-and-so and such and such. So it's just like that same energy. And that's what you're kind of like attracting. And so you do have to do like this self-awareness and see, why am I attracting, you know, these kinds of people into my life, and what are some changes that I need to make in order to live the life that I deserve.
Right.
So I think it starts with that sense of self-worth and knowing that you're worthy of having the love that deep down, you know, you truly want. Like you're saying, you know, your intuition, sometimes it whispers like, hey girl, he's not the one. And then it gets louder, and then it's like sitting on your shoulder, like, so what we doing?
Well, yeah. Well, the thing about it is, like you said, it whispers and then it screams. But the problem is, and I've done this, and most women do this, is that not only do we ignore that whisper, we think that now, oh, well, this is going to change. And the reason why we think it's going to change, because we believe that the more we love someone, the more that they're going to want to change and do better love and return that love. Absolutely. Yeah. But you can't love someone into loving you.
You can't love someone into loving you.
No, you can't. You cannot love someone into loving you.
That sounds like a book I want to read.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of what With Love I Let Go is when you turn the pages, you'll see how deeply I love this person and how deeply I wanted more for this person than they wanted for themselves, and how I thought my love could be their savior. And it wasn't. It just was never going to be enough, no matter what I did, no matter what I said, no matter how much I covered them and prayed for them and loved them the best that I knew how. Because if they don't love themselves, your love doesn't matter.
Because sometimes we glorify being a ride or die.
Right.
You know, we glorify. I've been with him through, you know, thick and thin and thinner and thinner. And but like you said, you cannot love somebody into loving you. That is so incredibly powerful and just mind blowing, because sometimes we think we can change a person, or you know, like, oh, this will get better, or they're just going through this rough patch right now, and you know, and we blame it on everything else. And you know, it's not always just about blame. It's about what you started with, taking responsibility, and accountability for our part in this, and the parts of ourselves that we're neglecting, and trying to love, you know, somebody else in order to have this picture of a relationship that will just, if we're honest with ourselves, it will just never be with that person in particular. And that's a tough pill.
It's heartbreaking.
It
is heartbreaking. But you know, I also too discovered that people don't break your heart a lot of times more than you breaking your own heart. And that's what I know that I've done. I've broken my own heart. And what do I mean by that? Because again, when you know that something is not for you and you choose to continue to stay in the situation hoping that it will change, eventually, once you get to that point of knowing that it's not, and now you have to walk away, even though your heart doesn't want to walk away, it's heartbreaking. So you know, you can choose to stay and see where it goes, or you can choose to walk away and knowing that you chose yourself no matter how much it hurt. And that's how we break our own hearts, because if you stay, even though you're hurting, it still feels good because you still,
it's comfortable,
you know, again, in this familiar place. And then, but when you walk away and you finally let go, it hurts, and it hurts really bad to let go. But then eventually, once you now take that time again in solitude, you take that time to journal, you take that time to self-reflect, you take that time to travel, you take that time to, you know, love on yourself, be around the people you know that truly love you, and again, not there to make fun of your pain or to throw fuel on the fire. Then that's when now in that process you go to therapy. And then in that process of the healing journey, and discovering yourself once again, you realize choosing to break your own heart was one of the best decisions you can make, because staying in it could be worse.
Right.
A lot worse, because it's just like people who are in relationships or in marriages, but yet they feel alone. And feeling alone with someone is a lot more painful than being alone with yourself.
This book, I feel like it's like it's a perfect companion. Whenever I'm going through something in life, the first thing I do is I get a new book. Like, that's just what I do. Like, okay, this is gonna be my bestie through this storm. And I love how you have like these journal prompts at the end of each chapter. So to be honest with you, I am not done with this book yet. I'm taking my time with it. It definitely is like a quick read. Like, you could probably sit and finish this, I would say, maybe within like an hour.
About an hour. So yeah.
I am day by day, and sometimes a chapter twice. Because just the journal prompts and reflecting and having self-awareness is like, I really want to embrace and experience a transformation. And I feel like that's so possible with this book. So I just want to encourage you at home to take advantage of the journal prompts. This is not just a, you know, sit and flip the pages type of book.
No.
Angelita, she grabs your hand, she takes you with you, and then she puts you in a corner. She puts you in a corner where we're not gonna call it a timeout. We're gonna call it a quiet time.
Yes. Put you in solitude.
It's like, okay, how did this chapter make you feel? Like, girl, I'm already crying. Now you want me to tell you how I feel? But
Yes, I do.
How does this make you feel? And then the call to action is at every chapter, okay, what can I release? What can I let go? So at the end of this book, you're going to be truly, truly transformed. I'm, like I said, I'm somewhere in the middle because I'll go back to a chapter that is tough.
Yeah.
I love this saying. It's like fear things first, and things that are difficult or uncomfortable for me, I'm like, oh, that's a lesson I need to learn.
Right.
And I'll give it more of my attention through the discomfort. And I'm noticing that it's, it's helping me. It's helped me through it. And you're healing some wounds that I didn't even know. Like, oh, I got a boo-boo over there. Like, and so I love just this mission that you're on to heal 100,000 women.
That's right. That's right.
Girl.
100,000 women worldwide will be healed when they turn the pages of With Love I Let Go, a journey back to self. Because this is so much bigger than me.
It is.
It's just so much bigger than me. Yeah. It's so much bigger than a book. It was God's calling. And I knew that. I mean, I just knew it. I felt it as I was going through this break. And as I was journaling, as I was crying, as I was calling out to God, as I was asking the questions why, because we always ask the questions why me, right? Why? Yeah, why am I going through this again, right? I knew again that it wasn't just me. I felt that deep in my spirit that it was so many other women like myself who was going through some form of heartache and pain and self-discovery and wanting to get back to who they were before the heartbreak, before the disappointment, before the abuse. And so I was like, Angelita, God, speak to me. What is it that you need me to do with this calling that you have on my life right now? And I wrote actually the second book, because this is part one. This is part one. With Love I Let Go, A Journey Back to Self is part one of a 3-part trilogy, actually. So there's more to come. There's more to come. It's actually in the back of the book.
This is like a Game of Thrones. Okay. Like, what's the next part?
Yes. I actually wrote that book first.
Okay.
So
this is like a prequel.
Yeah. So I wrote that book first because that's how I was feeling. But then I called my sister. I said, hey, girl, I'm writing a book. She said, really? What is it about? And I told her the title of the book. And when I told her the title of the book, she said, why do you want to write a book named that? Now, I'm not going to give it away because you got to get the book and you got to go through it and you got to see what that's all about. Okay. And I said, because that's how I'm feeling. And I know that I'm not the only one feeling like this. Right. And not to mention, I want to tell my truth. And so, but then I said, okay, but I also needed healing in that process. So I wanted to talk about healing first.
Okay.
So that's how With Love I Let Go came about.
She got us on the hook.
Yeah. Now the third book, woo. Yeah. So it's the third one. There's two. So it was basically, I wrote all three because it was really almost like it was one book, but then I just kind of broke it down.
Yeah. Cause I need some time. I need some more time. With
no, I know. First. Everybody needs time with Love I Let Go. So trust me, you're not the only one. I have spoken to several women who have read the book, and they said the same thing. They said, I read it because I wanted to read it, but then I realized I got to go back and I got to read this again.
I got work to do.
And now I got a journal in it. I had a woman who actually had Alexa read the book to her while she was bathing.
Okay.
I didn't even know that was a possibility.
I didn't know. Alexa, read me.
Yeah. So then
or
she said,
Chat
well, and
GBT.
yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. So, but then she said she knew she had to also to go read it for herself.
Mm.
And just some of the testimonies that I have been receiving since the book has released on September the 1st have been so heartwarming. And that's when I really knew that this was a calling on my life. As I knew as I was writing it, but to hear the testimonies and to hear how you say, you know, I'm not even done yet, because this is a book that's going to take time, because healing takes time.
It does.
Coming back to yourself takes time. And
There's no snapback.
no, and there's
to
no time
stuff. There's no
frame.
shortcut.
No.
You got to take the stairs, sis.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
elevator,
Yeah.
but you do have a companion. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to go on your self-discovery journey alone.
No.
And I love the idea that you're also doing like healing circles.
Yes.
And you're traveling and you're physically gathering women together to share and to heal and to talk and to assist, because sometimes it's good to talk to somebody that's gone through it.
Yeah.
You know, it's good to sometimes hear someone else's story or their version of their story, because sometimes we can tell ourselves something over and over and over again, and that's not really what really happened.
86,000 thoughts, negative thoughts.
That part.
Yep.
And sometimes when you hear someone else's story like yours, where you're taking accountability and responsibility, you're like, oh, so it wasn't all him. Oh, I played a part in that.
Right. Right.
You know, but instead of sitting with that for yourself, you have a whole circle of women, a small circle of women who, you know, you're kind of like you're healing together. And I think that's so powerful. So I know you're all over, so I'll put all of your information, your IG and your Facebook, so that you can follow Angelita and maybe join one of her circles.
Yeah.
You know, you're based in PA, but you're all
yeah
over.
Well, you know, in the process of this healing journey, you know, I became a flight attendant.
Yes, congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Something that I'd always wanted to do. Again, this is a part of coming back to self. I'm doing what I want to do.
You doing you, boo.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm loving every last bit of it, because again, I've always wanted to be a flight attendant. And in this process, as I was traveling, I came home, I applied to become a flight attendant. At first, I had these negative thoughts like, well, maybe I'm too old to do this now, or, you know, will they accept me? And then when they called me, I was just like,
I'm sitting here,
amazing.
I'm looking at her in real time, and I'm like, how could she think these thoughts of herself? Like, there's no way.
Yes, absolutely I did. And but then when I got accepted and I went to the training, and that was actually when I started a lot of the journaling too. And it just really started coming full circle for me, because again, I'm going back and I'm now doing something I wanted to do fresh out of college. I'm now in training to be a flight attendant at 52 and feeling brand new, because that's what I called it, 52 and feeling brand new.
Did y'all get the tea?
So, but hey, now I'm 53 and free.
Girl. And working.
Yes. And but all I'm doing now is just giving what I needed, because in my healing journey, I needed and wanted someone to hold my hand. I wanted someone to say it's going to be okay. I needed someone to tell me their story, that I wasn't alone in my own story. And I did. And I'm thankful for some of my mentors, because I have my aunties, my mommies, you know, I have so many mommies that I'm so thankful for. Yeah, exactly. But I know it's a lot of people who don't have that. So I'm now becoming that even more, because I've always had young women that I've mentored all over the world. I mean, even in South Africa, I picked up a few, right? So, you know, women that gravitated to me, younger women, and I'm thankful for that, because this book is now being read by women in Japan, in the UK. Yeah, it's not just here in the US. And I'm just so thankful that people all over the world, again, the mission is to help heal 100,000 women worldwide, not just here in my own backyard. And we're going to accomplish that for sure. And I'm just thankful and grateful to be able to have this conversation with you.
Me too,
to your audience out there, for any woman
Yeah.
out there that is listening, just know that you're not in this alone. Just know that I am here again, yes, to hold your hand, to also to, answer any questions. Definitely you can reach out to me direct. But as you turn these pages, just know that I hear you, I see you, I feel your pain, and I'm just here to be able to comfort you through that process, with my words that are not just my words, but our words together.
I love that. Angelita, thank you so much
Thank you.
for being here and just spending this time with us and creating this space. I do have something I want to share because I am about to release an affirmation audio.
Love that.
And I would like to offer anyone that purchases this book a free download. Yes, so the audio is actually it's like a reset. It's a 5-minute reset. We all have 5 minutes in our day
Yes.
to just sit with self and reset.
And even if we don't, we need to take
Make the
5 minutes of our day
Yes.
to do that. Yes.
Absolutely. You have to prioritize yourself on purpose. So again, purchase this book and email me. I'll drop the email below. It's thegorgeousgrind@gmail.com. Purchase this book. Send me a photo of your receipt and I will send you that free download.
That is amazing. I love
I'm
that.
So blessed to be a part of this movement. You can go ahead and purchase your copy of With Love I Let Go. Is it withloveiletgo.com?
Withloveiletgo.com, where you can actually, where I have blogs. You can see some of my other interviews there.
Nice.
As well. People can actually sign up for my newsletter, so that they can get into that healing circle. Send me a message after you read the book, and of course got the beautiful affirmation from this beautiful queen here. Definitely, please just send me a message and let me know what this journey back to self looks like for you. I encourage women to definitely write a review on Amazon, because the more people tell their testimonies, the more it gives another woman the courage to be able to now start her healing journey too.
Amen. And buy one for a friend. Whenever I find a really good book, I'll go ahead and buy one and send one to a friend. Birthday's coming up, whatever. Just because you love her. If you know a sister that is going through a tough time right now, go ahead and purchase this for her and send it to her. You will help her in more ways than you could ever imagine.
Yeah, mom too.
Yes.
Yeah, my mother, my 90-year-old mother, she just called me.
Your mom is 90?
Yes. My 90-year-old mother just called me the other day to tell me. She said, Angelita, this is a really good book.
She's so beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. She did.
She
90. Said, this is a really good book. She said, I loved your father, but I also had to let him go as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it. Mom, sister, auntie. Because sometimes we think our elders, they done healed and they good. And sometimes they have like the deeper wounds. Yeah,
I have another woman, her testimony, when she turned the pages, she said, Angelita, I didn't realize I was repressing feelings from my first husband from 40 years ago.
Wow.
She said, I cried as I turned these pages.
I told you about the new boo-boos I found. Yeah. So I was like, I didn't know that I was still hurting. Hurting from that.
Yeah.
So
again. It's there to dig up everything that's inside of you that you didn't know that was still inside of you that you have to let go.
Yeah, but I love that you're helping us after we dig it up. You don't have to sit in it, sis.
No.
Angelita.
And you're not alone in
You're
it.
not alone. Yana, you are not alone. So go ahead, get your copy of this incredible, incredible book. I look forward to the next one, but I'm going to go ahead and finish this one first.
Yes, because we're not going to give out the next one because you got to turn the
Right,
pages
you
to
gotta
see what
turn
the
the
next one is
pages
all about.
first. But you do mention the next book. I peeked through. You do
Yeah.
mention the next book.
I do.
And I'm like a fish on a hook. Like I took the bait and I'm patiently waiting. So again, Angelita, thank you. Thank you so much. I am positively sure that you're going to supersede your goal of not just healing women, but healing men as well.
Yeah,
You know, I
men.
have a 10-year-old son,
Yeah.
so I'm raising a young man.
A young king.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, you know, as we start to heal, we also start to heal the people that are around us. And that's the beautiful part.
Absolutely.
You start to have, when you start to pour in yourself, you start to have more to give.
Yep. Absolutely. Men are actually purchasing this book.
I know
they've been sharing it. Yeah, they have.
I know they are.
I have a man who purchased the book. He read it. He wrote a review on Amazon.
Okay.
And then he gave it to his significant other. He got her a book, and he told me he just purchased a book for his daughter.
Okay, see,
yeah.
share the love.
So men are out there supporting this book as well and supporting this journey back to self. Because the more we heal, the more better the relationship we can have with one another. Yes.
I feel more healing circles. I feel smiling, genuinely happy women.
Yeah.
Running up to you, hugging you, just random on the street, like just saying thank you. And I am saying, I'm only halfway through, and I'm saying thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you for coming. This was so good in more ways, like more ways than one. I didn't realize how much I needed this book in my life. So thank you for being so real, so raw, and so vulnerable, so that we can get to the other side. And thank you for showing us what the other side looks like, what it feels like, and being honest with us with how difficult that journey, can be. But there is a huge blessing on the other side, and the huge blessing, it's you.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
let me see. I have something I want to read. It's the end of your book. And for any of you out there that are starting this journey or considering this journey, Angelita says, you are the love you've been waiting for. And there is nothing more beautiful than a woman who has learned to keep herself full.
Yeah.
So fill your cup, sis. If my self-love journey is helping you in any way, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe.